We're live.
Hey, good evening. It's Tom Ginn and
Mark Gassert.
Elevate Your Profits. We're going to be right back. We are back. I almost got carried away, Mark. I get excited when I see that
We
thing.
gonna do it again? Were you gonna let it?
I was going to loop it around a few times, but we're on a tight timeline here tonight, so I
Yes.
didn't want to take up the valuable time for our guests. So
Absolutely.
Mark, I'll let you tell a little bit about what Elevate Your Profits about. How we came together, and
That's beautiful. Everybody thinks sometimes, not everybody, but elevate your profits is not just about the ledger line, the bottom line. It's about other things out there. Yeah, we're pro business and we're pro, more so in helping oneself and helping others and creating a platform where people can share their stories, what they're doing out there to impact others. And I always say this, it's not my mantra, so to speak, but I think what we're trying to do here is create an environment where people look at it and step back. Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. And that's what we try to emulate. That's trying to strive for perfection, which I don't think you ever obtain, but it's kind of a cool thing to, take a look at. And we bring people from all walks of life, Tom. We've had people that write books, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, man, you name it, we've had it. And I'm not going to drop names, but just from different industries in itself. So I'm really excited about tonight because it's technology based, even though I'm a neophyte at it. But I think tonight's guest is really going to shed some light on one of our sponsors. And I'll let you take that segue and
yeah, well said. It's everything from the mindset to the course to the bank. I mean,
Right.
to be in business, business is not for everybody, but it can be for everybody.
Sure.
So we want to help inspire those that desire to be in business or already in business. What does it take really to win, to accomplish those things in life that business gives you? But our tonight's guest, he's matter of fact, he's part of the Ken Walls. I always have to give credit to Ken Walls where we can.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, Mark.
Right? No.
I've never had the opportunity to know who Scott is and the network we come together and share, and everybody has the same mind set to help, and I call it upserve. Yeah, I came up with that the other day. Upserve. So I'm really excited to bring our guest in, Scott Schilling. Scott has an extensive background in all levels of business. I interviewed him here a couple weeks ago, and but we'll let him tell his story. But tonight he's in direct relationship to that little video we got, our BeeKonnected, which is our corporate sponsor.
Right.
Tonight we're just going to talk about where business is today and how important it is to use technology and why this might be the very best platform that somebody can use for the long haul. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. I was very impressed with it. I know you have been very impressed with it to a point where we became stakeholders in the company and sharing this out here to help other business people. So without any further ado, we're bringing Scott Schilling. Hey, Scott, how you doing?
Doing great, guys. Thanks for the opportunity to come share.
Absolutely.
Well, what I always like to do, Scott, and we did it on my last program, is what are you grateful for today? We'll just sort of start there because I think many times gratitude is taken for example. So we'll have you share what you're grateful for today, Mark, and then I'll share what I'm grateful for.
Sure.
I had a couple of hips replaced this summer, and I am just grateful for the technology of them being able to do that, the fact that it could be done, how I feel after the fact, and it's a rebirth. And if you're waiting, don't get it done. I'm just telling you, it is so awesome.
That's neat.
Mark, what are you grateful for today?
Well, I'm grateful that I told you earlier this morning, last night my father-in-law turned 90. My dad made it to 95. So to me, that was kind of a milestone, and I was glad to be there. It was really kind of cool to watch, as I called them, a bunch of gray panthers, young bloods out there last evening in our house. But it was neat for them to celebrate that, and just to watch and observe. And I didn't say a whole lot, talked a little bit, but it was like they were kids again. You had all these group of like I'll call them gray panthers. I won't say old, and they're really neat. And some of them were Greek. In fact, the majority of them were. So that was even neat to hear them talk in their native tongue. And I really enjoyed it. So that's what I'm grateful for. That's what I got to look forward to. And I'm still here and can't wait.
Well, I was introduced. I'm a personal development coach from the Bob Proctor and John Maxwell and some other great mind influencers out there. But something I learned from one of my clients was gratitude from Robert A. Emmons. And is that we take gratitude in many cases just on the surface, but it's gratitude, I think, is the area that no matter what our challenges or difficulties we're having in life, if we can go to that place, the world changes in front of us. I call it the gateway to a positive place. It always takes you positive. So I'm very grateful for this moment.
One of my to a positive.
Are we getting some feedback here?
You got some feedback here. I don't know how that happened, man.
Wow.
The gremlins are out, man. It's Christmas time. Look out.
Well, I'm grateful for technology and even the feedback. How about that? We won't let it upset us. But I'm grateful for this moment because this moment is the most important moment of my life. I was grateful this morning I was able to be above ground.
Sure.
My health, my wife, all those things. But you got to take gratitude as it comes to us at the moment, because it's going to dictate what happens the rest of our lives in reality. All these things build up. So I'm just grateful that we have the opportunity to have the conversation with Scott and hear his story, that knowing that there's somebody out there that his wisdom, his knowledge, his experience may touch somebody in a positive way. So without any further ado, Scott, it's all yours. You can share a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your business experience, and
Sure.
It's pretty extensive. So, and then we'll get into the topic that we talked about here earlier. So,
sure, I very fortunate. I mean, I actually, while I was going to college and playing Big Ten football at the University of Iowa, go Hawks. I also became a licensed life insurance agent. And the reason I did that is what was going to differentiate me from 5,000 other people graduating with a Bachelor of Business Administration degree? Personal face-to-face communication ability. And so it was just a great setting for my career, value-added conceptual presentation. I took that into corporate America, did the corporate America thing for about 13 and a half years, and phenomenal path there. I went out on my own as a consultant and got absorbed in. We pioneered a product and made that very successful, and then back out, back in, back out, back in. And then about just after 9/11, I said, I really want to be able to serve more people, and I think I could do that if I was a professional speaker. And so I made that decision. I got trained by the best of the best. John Childers, absolutely amazing gentleman. And it allows me to, I've done over 3,000 live events around the country, around the world. Spoke probably to 1 million people in seats in front of me. I was the front man for 8 infomercials and got to share the stage with every name you know. You may or may not know mine. That's okay. That's not my job. My job was to make the money so we could pay those. So I did my job and they were very happy. And so again, I've been very blessed to realize throughout my career that it's really all about relationships. It's really all about connections. And as a sales trainer, one of the I train many concepts, but one is that people do business with those you know, like, and trust. If they don't know you, assume they don't like you. And if they don't like you, assume they don't trust you, but they have to trust you to do business with. But the thing that most people forget in this day and age is people take action when they're ready, not when you're ready. So by definition, you have to have trust built ahead of when they're ready if you want to be the go-to source for whatever product, or goods or services it might be. And so that's been ingrained with me since I read "See You at the Top" was from Zig Ziglar when I was 17 years old. You can have everything in life you want when you help enough other people get what they want. Pretty simple foundational piece there. And that's been my mantra ever since. And it's amazing how creating those relationships pay off multiple times over at some point.
You know, Scott, you said something. It's the relationship, and you've probably seen it. I've seen it training. You know, I was in the insurance industry, had my own agency, had hired over 500 agents in my career, and had some pretty significant players that were developed. And I can't take any credit for that. We had some great leadership that helped me do that. But we know that relationship is so important. But I've seen this cycle. At some point, everything became transactional. Let's close the deal. Always be closing. Always be closing. And I was guilty of that as well, right? Always be closing, and but it's only through life's experience that my success really came. With just what you said there is, you got to build a relationship and be in a place when they're ready to take advantage of your offering. The work has been done, but too many people, I got to get that, even sales managers today, get out there, make the contact. Let's get that deal done. When's the closing? And there's something to be said about that, put some urgency about some things. But I think that's where a lot of sales cycle, I saw over 40 years of sales, it used to be a lot of transactional, get it done now, close them hard. When did you start seeing, you've been in business long, when did you start seeing this new? It's not new, it's always been there. Nothing is ever new. When did you start seeing, or did you recognize how important it was in the sales environment or in business environment to be more relationship builder?
I started that when I was 18 years old.
Okay.
So I know it's only been about 5 years now. So the reality is I learned it from the beginning.
Okay.
And it's always been that way for me, but that's quite frankly why some of us more mature, that's code word for older, some of us more mature sales professionals have the ability to do more business these days because we understand what the real process is. That has never changed. It will never change. Right. That you have to have relationship ahead of the transaction. And so again, if you have trust built ahead of when they're ready, and they're ready, they'll come buy from you. If you have trust built ahead of when they're not ready, they're not buying from you or anybody else. But if you don't have trust built when they're ready, they're not buying from you. They're buying from somebody they have trust built with. And if you try to force it, you will break trust, which then you might be able to sell in a transaction one time in your career, but you'll never be able to sell that person again because they won't trust you. And so, I think there were years where there was so much opportunity that they could churn and burn opportunity and take a one-off sale and feel like they really accomplished something. But if you have to repeat, I learned we're in a 24/7, 365 forever business called delivering results. And so if I don't do business with you today, I want it tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, next week. And if not next week, next month. If not next month, next year. If not next year, 5 years from now. If not then, okay. So the point is, I'm in a forever business. And so one of the concepts that I teach consistently is today's activity does not create today's volume. Today's volume was created by what you did 30, 60, 90 days ago. Today's activity creates what will happen 30, 60, 90 days from now. So if you're not doing enough business today, it's not about today. It's about what you didn't do 30, 60, 90 days ago. So today can be the demarcation point. It's the time to build those relationships and get that trust built ahead of the point where your prospect is ready to take advantage of what you have.
Perfectly said. And also building that relationship, not hoping, but planting that seed, building that trust in the relationship. They may never do business with it, but if they like you, trust you, they will refer you. And that's it's equally as important as getting the transaction from the person you're hoping to do business with. They will refer you all day long if that relationship is built solidly. So.
Right, because it's all about trust. That's actually a different kind of sale in essence. Quite frankly, it makes me laugh when people say I'm not in sales. Everybody's in sales every minute of every day. Everything is a sale. A sale is nothing more than offering a point for consideration with somebody. So you're right, Tom. If you've got trust built with somebody and they're not ready to buy, but they know of somebody that is, they will refer you because that trust is built. And that's, you now broaden your customer base. And that's a great advantage going forward. So it all comes back down to building those relationships, nurturing those relationships. Quite frankly, my platform is to return respect, honor, and dignity to the planet. I don't have to agree with you, but I do need to respect you. And I do need to honor you for your position. And when that happens between us both, we dignify the position. And that's another thing that, quite frankly, I think we've lost in this environment. And I think we need to get it back.
Absolutely. I agree with you totally. And Mark, anything you want to comment? Because
I have a question. Scott said something so profound there. I call them they're called the warriors of the keyboard, and they hide behind not this particular platform, but this bad boy here, and texting and going to town and making comments. And I think that is important. And I always try and learn something from someone I meet for the first time, or even my customers, and a lot of it has to do with, this right here, listening, and, what you're sharing with us. I really appreciate it. And I'll throw it out there, Larry Levine, selling from the heart. There's something to be said for that. I'm sure you've got the book. Look, he's going to pull it out. Yep, that's it. But there is something to be said about that book, and and Larry's platform. I'm really engrossed in reading it. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm highlighting different things, and kind of being reflective on my end. Hey, am I doing this? Am I really do I come across this way to people? Am I trying to convey a message that's welcoming and respectful? And like you said, I was so refreshing to hear dignity and respect. You can still disagree, but you don't have to get, in like verbal, jujitsu and go crazy on one another. It's just not worth it,
We had a situation the other day where I was kind of team selling, and the other person kind of didn't set the call up very well. Mm-hmm. The prospect didn't set it up for the other prospects. And so it kind of soured the potential for the moment. We'll still have the opportunity. We just won't have it today.
Right.
And the person I was team selling with said, well, I'm just going to tell them we're done. And I said, okay, well, you can do that. Or he said, well, what would you say? I said, I just want you to know we're here when you're ready.
Right.
Now, one of those two has got a different tone and sound to it. And I'm
sure.
not
sure. Absolutely.
Again, I think there's no need even if you're done, it's funny, my speaking mentor, we used to watch other speakers, and I keep two pads when I watch. One is, wow, that's pretty awesome, I'm probably going to borrow that someday. And the other is up for discussion. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means, what were you trying to get to land when you were discussing this?
Right.
And but the question I would always put at the top of that page was, what does this buy me? If something comes out of my mouth, what does it buy me? Does it do me any good? And that's, I think, the one thing that people forget. You can say anything you want to say. We do live in a free speech environment, and it's very evident that people are utilizing that. They're not thinking about what they're saying, but they're utilizing that, right? But the point is, there are consequences to what comes out of your face, and therefore, what does it buy me? And my suggestion would be, if it doesn't buy you anything, don't say it. Just and so that you can feel good. What does that do for you? Again, you're talking about elevating your way to profits. People cost themselves more money than they make sometimes, because they just allow certain stupid things to come out of their face.
Put me at the top of that list.
Well, I think we're all guilty at that at some point, but
Sure.
Exactly, that's well put, Scott. I appreciate that.
So you were clear on your vision. I think that's important. Anytime you're in business or an avocation, you got to be clear on your why, your purpose. You were clear in the beginning.
Yep.
And then you recognize you worked for different entities, and you recognize that how can I really impact and help more people? Bottom line is what I heard. And you decided to go into public speaking, right?
Right.
Great forum, because you can touch who knows how many people in a given time immediately, and especially with today's technology.
Right.
What happened when COVID hit? How did that affect you in doing business? And I want to migrate how technology can be used more effectively. That's what I want to migrate.
Sure. Well, it's a great question. We had kind of just secured a training contract with a worldwide company, huge company. And basically, I went out every week. I flew out on Friday, I guess we were flying out on Friday in those days. Would do a training all day Saturday and fly home Saturday night. And then next week you'd do it in another city. And it was just flipping awesome. And I got a call. I was in Colorado Springs, and how'd the training go today? It was awesome. Everybody loved it. Everything was great. Good. That's the last one. Excuse me? And that's how we, everything shut down. We weren't going to be on the road. Everything was done. All the months of scheduled was gone. It disappeared in a phone call. And so it was a couple of weeks prior to that. Two friends, Tanya Hoffman and J.R. Reed, called me and said, hey, we want to come up to Dallas and show you something. And I said, okay. And they laid out this platform that was really designed to be a different type of business connection platform called BeeKonnected. And they looked at me and said, what do you think? And I said, I'm in. And they said, that's it? And I go, well, yeah, this is what the world needs right now. It needs the ability. And we didn't know that COVID was going to shut everything down. Like I said, that was a couple of weeks ahead of that. But it actually worked at a great time, because the concept behind BeeKonnected was to have a true community full of people that had a desire to do business together. Novel concept. For anybody who's tired of going to social media and seeing 2 cat videos and a bowl of oatmeal, how's that help a guy? I don't think that helps me in my business relationships or anything like that. And so social media became in many cases became a distraction. You'd have to sift through all the stuff. Then you find all the games that they were playing as far as blocking messages, or what good does it do to have 5,000 connections if in fact only 58 of them get to see your message when you post it due to algorithms? If I got 5,000 people, 5,000 people should be able to see my message. It just kind of makes sense, but that's not the way they work. Well, BeeKonnected was a different kind of animal. It was a purposeful, the original concept was, why if eHarmony and Match.com and Christian Mingle could match profiles for dating, why couldn't you do something similar for business? And the answer was you could. Nobody had done it until BeeKonnected. And so it was a combination of creating algorithms and artificial intelligence to look at your profile. I call it your humble brag. You get to put your humble brag together about who you are, what you've accomplished, who you've impacted. And then you also get to put together who you would like to impact, who is your ideal customer, those things. And now you let algorithms and artificial intelligence work. So literally you can touch a button and in less than 2 seconds, it searches a worldwide database and gives you suggestions on who to connect with. So instead of you having to go to endless face-to-face networking disappeared in COVID. So whether you wanted to do it or not, it wasn't possible. And so BeeKonnected came along at just the right time to be able to get to meet people around the world, now in 114 countries, and literally at the touch of a button in less than 2 seconds, have 6 people designated for you that seemingly by criteria they established would be a good connection for you. Well, isn't that what it's all about? And so you got to see their profile. They got to see your profile. No private information was exchanged. So the women in the system love that because there's no trolls, there's no spammers, there's nothing like that. They all of a sudden had the opportunity to conduct business, which is why they got into business. They didn't get on social platforms to get dates. They wanted to meet business contacts, but unfortunately that, wasn't always the case. So many attributes were available, and BeeKonnected was launched and has now been around almost 3 years.
Scott, you said something. I'm glad you started with that because a lot of time we start introducing this. Well, I use Zoom, so what's the big deal, right? I mean, there's a differentiation on our product against the boom out there. I better be careful what I say, probably, right? The big boom out there, and so differentiation, you can batch those up. Okay, great. BeeKonnected has more benefit, more feature. That's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Then a lot of people are using streaming, broadcasting and putting their message out to the marketplace, and they're using some of the other platforms, and that makes sense. If I can get the same power, the same feature, and it's free. But the key here is what you started out with. This is a business platform for business people to connect, to use this tool, which you're using now. A lot of people that are watching are using this tool. Why should I change? Well, number one, you get a more powerful platform, less money or no money. That makes sense in any business situation. You're not degrading you're not compromising anything in quality of service. But now I got a platform that I can touch people I would never been able to touch. And I like the part of the last piece, is part of it fills in with elevate your profit. Tanya has put together, the CEO of the company, the resources of people that have been teaching business principles and concepts in a library or a university set of over $50,000 that you'd have to go out and pay for inside the platform.
Yeah, one of my $3,000 courses is in that library, available along with anybody's monthly membership.
Yeah.
So the fact is that it's really 5 platforms in one.
Exactly.
Being able to do all the different things that you do in social media, but it's a more purpose-driven, purposeful thing. I think it's funny to sometimes say, well, there's 2.8 billion people on Facebook every month. Yeah, you've got access to about 100 of them, if you're lucky, maybe, sort of. And the reality is, how much time do you have to spend digging through material if you're trying to do that for business? I had a friend that lost a group of 462,000 people overnight.
Wow.
Facebook decided to shut it down, and he's never gotten it back. Took him years to develop, and they made an arbitrary decision and shut it down. And so when you have a group at BeeKonnected, that group is yours. The only one who can let people into the group is the group creator. The only one that can take people out of the group is the group creator. The only one that can put the group up is the group creator. The only one who can take the group down is the group creator. Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? So again, it's a more purposeful place to go and find people like mind, like heart. You can have a conversation. And, people say, how many connections do you have or whatever? I said, well, basically, I know just about everybody on the platform, as weird as that sounds. At some time over 3 years, I've probably talked to just about everybody. But the reality is, it only takes one. It only takes one person to totally improve your business. And when you have a more refined search for that person or a better ability to go and seek out that person, it's called time savings. We have the same 86,400 seconds in a day, but it's not how many you have, it's how many you utilize and in what way. And when the system helps you find people in less than 5 minutes a day, all of a sudden you got extra time in your day. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because, technology, we're going to live with it, is, having meeting platforms and broadcasting platforms. And they're doing some things that we won't get in tonight, but we'll feature them down the road. Because I'll be moving off of this platform after the first of the year and doing everything through this platform. And I'm really excited about that. Then we can really show some of the extra things that this platform brings that you can't do with some of the other name brand services that people are using. So, so you were introduced to it right at the time of COVID. It's been under development. The betas, all the foundational stuff has worked, and all the strategic stuff and the right people coming in on the technology side, the right people coming on the investment side to put this thing together. It's about ready. 2023 is going to be a big year. This BeeKonnected is going to be, what is that buzz about? And right, would you agree, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like anything else. To do something different and better than the behemoths. There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of, people saying different things. But at the same time, what people don't understand is, as an example, let's throw it up against LinkedIn at 850 members. What people don't understand is by Microsoft's K1, it says 39% of their members pay them monthly. The reason 288 or almost 300 million people are paying them is to avoid the other 500 million that are creating all the noise. They're trying to get, so that they can talk to just the numbers have become so much that they get inundated. So again, that's why BeeKonnected is such a great value. There's no better value on the planet. It gets 5 platforms in one, to be able to fight through the noise and find people who are serious about doing business right out of the blocks. There aren't a bunch of looky-loos. There aren't a bunch of people who are trying to bother you. Part of that is because it's been engineered into the system. There's a 5-star rating system, much like the rideshare companies did. You know, the driver rates the passenger rates the driver. Well, you want to be a 5-star member. Well, you don't do that if you're a hack. Therefore, there are no hacks because everybody works to do the right stuff. So it's really amazing when you take the design criteria, take the top 2, 3, 4 best attributes of every platform, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, Instagram, StreamYard, YouTube, boom. Take the best attributes of all of them, put them all in one place, and eliminate the less than favorable attributes. It's amazing what you end up with. It's a hell of a product, and it's a hell of a way to grow your business.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that, Scott. You've been with the beginning with the founders, so you know the history and where it is, and the foundation's in place. And I always like to tell people, there's no company that's perfect, but we're trying to get there daily, right? So that's where they're at as well. And I just love the full-featured, one-stop. As a business guy, the easiest dollar made in business is the dollar you save. I mean, that's the first profit is go there. And it's saving me tons of money when I do that full transition. And I'm excited for myself. Number one, the company's mission is to help whoever's listening, the business person, become more profitable, more effective, more efficient, using the resources that technology is created out there in one place. I mean, great concept, right?
Well, it's really, like you said, one of my buddies taught me, saving money is making money.
Yeah.
And so if I can be more efficient, saving time is making time.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
When you're talking to high level players that are decision makers that can decide to do things together. I mean, it was funny. I had my TV show. It's in hiatus right now, but I've got over 150 shows on the platform probably.
Oh, wow.
But one of my guests came on the show and afterwards said, you know, you've been so gracious about having me on the show. Well, what could I do for you? And I said, well, if there's anybody you know that you feel I should know, I would love to meet them. You're obviously a tremendously quality individual. I'd love to meet your friends. Like the great Bob Donnell is an amazing friend. This guest sent me 2 pages of referrals, not 2 referrals, 2 pages of referrals. So that's the kind of people there. I'm not going to say everybody's going to do that, but I'm just saying treat people with respect, honor, and dignity. And it's really amazing what happens. That's why Bob Donnell is such a great guy. I mean, he teaches that with his Next Level by association. So a lot of great people here.
Yeah. Jay Skinner was on, Bob, Robert Brooker. Thanks, Robert, for being on. I'm sure that I've seen the ticker going up here. So we've had a lot of people come in and out. So, just tag and share, those that are out there seeing this on the replay, if you don't mind, what this platform offers, may I go into what the platform offers?
Sure. You want me to, or are you going to?
Why don't you go ahead and cover the free side and the paid side, and what free really means, what it can do?
Well, it starts, it all starts with again 5 platforms in one. The first is the connection generator, which is artificial intelligence and algorithm driven connections. So think of LinkedIn Sales Navigator on steroids. Touch a button, less than 2 seconds, it puts it together. So it's your prospecting, it's your meeting of people. Second is the ability to have either public or private groups. You can have as many as you want. You can set them up with your paid for membership. So the ability to reach out. And again, you said something earlier about changing platforms. BeeKonnected is not an either or platform. It's a both and. Nobody's saying that you have to drop what you're doing anywhere else. Utilize it to get the serious people over to BeeKonnected. That's what you'll find will happen. So it's an either or kind of platform. So you can use your groups, a public group to provide information about your offering. You can create a private group to then set up kind of the informational nature within your customers or constituents. So you can have public groups or private groups. No trolls, no spammers. Those groups are totally in your control. You've got a live feed, which goes to every member worldwide in BeeKonnected. If the member opens up, the live feed is the same for everybody worldwide. So you stand the potential to get your message spread across the world. It's not just to those who are following you or anything like that. So the live feed is there. So I do a 60-second training most days. There's the university you mentioned, well over $50,000 worth of real world education. And then there's a virtual meeting platform included. And again, if you have the free membership, you get all of those things.
Excuse me, Scott, could you say that again? What membership?
Free.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah, you can get all that for free. And then if you get the paid for platinum membership, you get the augmented versions of a lot of those things. But the reality is, join for free. I'm sure Tom and I'm sure you guys are going to put up a link for people to get started, and just get started free. Kick the tires. Come around, meet some people. I mean, reach out to me. Trust me, I know a lot of people. And one of the features inside the chat, which is just like Instant Messenger, except it's inside of BeeKonnected, is the ability let's say you didn't know Tom and I are connected. I could simply say, hey, you know what? There's this guy named Tom. Here's his profile information. Connect with him. I can make those recommendations right in chat. So again, it's a different kind of community. It's a community that wants to see each other prosper, quite frankly. They want to see each other do well. Rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, I don't mean to jump in here. Could you elaborate a little bit, like customer service? You can actually go to somebody on BeeKonnected if you having a situation or you want to learn more. I know they've got a bunch of video within the platform, but I'm saying if you wanted to reach out to somebody, can you do that as well?
Absolutely. There's real world live domestic customer support. So there's a lot of those situations. Like I say, I do a lot of conversations and presentations with and for people, just because I've been around the platform since the beginning.
Right.
You know, the reality is you'll find a lot of people have a desire to champion the desires of others. I mean, that's part of the cool nature of it.
That goes back to what you said. The more we can help other people, it helps us eventually. I mean, it's that the giving principle. The more you give out, the reciprocity comes. If you're doing without expectation, I mean, there's a degree of expectation in business, but
sure.
But if we're doing it from the right spirit, like the company is doing, and we're doing the same thing, it's just, I'm here to support other business people. At some point, maybe I will use your service, but I know somebody that could, if I like you, trust you, and those type of things. So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to put Mark's link up, because anybody, and I'm going to get to the, you talk about the paid, the free version is powerful in itself. If you're using any of these services, you want to expand your business, learn how to do what we're doing here in a streaming environment where you can stream out at five places at one time, and it doesn't cost you anything. This is a place to do it, right? This is the place to do it. Learn it.
The reality is free is free, but you get tremendous amount of value and benefits for free. And that's done so that you can get accustomed to it and get a feeling for it. Yeah. But I mean, even if you chose to upgrade to the platinum membership, it's only $49.95 a month, and you get $800 worth of value for $50 a month. I mean, again, business people, you have to invest in your business But if you could invest $50 and get it all versus investing $800, which is a better choice? If you can take $750 a month and reallocate it inside your business to do other things, that's elevating your profits, right? I mean, it's
Right.
allowing you to move the things around.
No, that's well said. He took the elevate your profits. He worked it in there, Tom. That was great, Scott. Thanks.
You know, I also, speaking of elevate your profits, because, you know, how does a company make money? Well, it's on the paid version, and they use the model that LinkedIn is. Most of your social media platforms always started out free, and then if you wanted the widgets, you paid for the extra value, right? No difference here. We bring a lot of value, build that network, build the business. You have a place to plug in. If you want the extra features, no one's twisting your arm at that point. You say, yeah, I see the value there. I'm willing to pay X. Just like in LinkedIn, the different levels of the premium membership. I'm $19.95 or $69.95. I want those extra valued benefits. That's no different than here. But I want to plan this.
But you get about $800 worth for $50. That's pretty good value.
But I want to plant this seed out there because I've always been a one that has always recommended any product or service I use, I share it. Here's the benefit I've got. I just want to encourage you. I do that with in my business. So I would encourage people that see the value in it. We have an affiliate program. There's an income opportunity here, and we won't get into that. That'd be a whole different conversation. But it's an affiliate program, has a very unique two-tiered compensation plan. I encourage anybody out there, if you're going to use a business resource, share it with somebody else, and if they convert over, you get paid monthly. You can build a pretty substantial residual income over time. Would you agree, Scott?
Yeah, exactly. It's a two-tier affiliate program. It's, you know, you go to a great restaurant, you want to tell people about it. You go to a great movie, you tell people about it. You use a great business platform, you tell people about it. Why not get rewarded for telling people?
Yeah, because Facebook.
I've yet to get a check from Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg. Let's put it that way.
Right, and no one pays us for that, right? So
no, but I've gotten a check from BeeKonnected for a long time. So
yeah, so I wanted to plant that out there as well because we're on a mission, and you know, if you're going to share the word, what's the incentive? What's in it for me? The platform itself is a great benefit, but also could I substantially increase my residual? I'm an MSI guy, multiple streams income, passive residual income guy. That's how I built most of my assets, is through that concept. So I just encourage anybody out there that take a look at the program, dive into it. If you want to become an affiliate, it's a simple process. So I just encourage people to look at that as well to help promote your business. It'll accelerate your business as well. Any comments there, Scott?
No, absolutely. I mean, why not? You know, if you're referring, it's like this. I've got, I don't know, 15,000 plus followers on Facebook in multiple accounts, and Zuckerberg has never paid me a penny for all the income opportunity he's gotten from what I've built for him. Whereas, have I gotten, when I've referred people into BeeKonnected, have I gotten a little bit for it? Absolutely. And if you do that enough times, it becomes significant. So the reality is, if you're helping build the platform, why shouldn't you be rewarded? If that's of interest to you. If it's not, then don't do it. That's okay.
Exactly.
Just use it.
Exactly. And for those that are out there that are following Mark and that, there's Mark's BeeKonnected link.
Oh my God.
How about that,
Look out.
Mark?
Look out.
And it's a seamless process.
Scott's probably freaking out. Hey, how did he get up there? Yeah.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
All
good. So Mark, that's Mark's link. And of course I have one as well. We'll put that up in a bit, but it's really about how can we help you become more successful in your business. Use the technologies that are out there, but if you can get them bundled together and have more power to it at less money, like you said, the easiest dollar made in business is a dollar saved, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And it could be substantial. And I like to share something with you so those that understand this. It's not just a onesie twosie business guy. Think about it. If you're an organization, you want uniformity of communication. You need to be in compliance. You need a lot of things. This has a lot of things in it that you can help your team create a uniform platform for communication. And just think about that. If you can improve your communication, your sales process with a tool. What if you had an organization that, Scott, you may not know this, but I found a guy that's bringing in 300,000 people.
Nice.
Now, what does that mean? Now the company's going to do quite well with that, but what does it do for the person that he recognized the value for his business, that his people become more effective in their communication, and he's bringing his whole team over. Now, that's kind of cool, right? You know the numbers on the backside being that.
Sure.
Percentage of those are going to be paid, and guess what? You're an affiliate, and you're part of the pool money and whatever else you're involved with. I don't know if I should have disclosed that, but I did. I apologize out there. But it's a win-win-win for anybody that has an organization, saving money, helping the team become more efficient.
Right.
So go beyond just your own person. You have a team. Look, how can your team benefit from this? And I'd be glad to meet with people or introduce people that can help clarify the best way to use this platform for businesses.
Perfect.
Scott, I do have to ask this question. What's it like now for you, since you got involved in day one, to watch what's happening with this platform? I mean, did you ever think it would get to where it's going to go right now for 2023 when you first got involved? Could you see the potential of it, or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely saw the potential, and it's why I got involved right away. I saw the potential from the beginning. The only thing that's, it's taken a little longer than would have thought, but there've been a lot of enhancements as well. There's a lot of refinement. There's a lot of goodness that has come through it. Like I say, it's 5 platforms in one. It's not one platform, it's 5. And it wasn't that way in the beginning. It had multiple things, but it wasn't to this breadth. So I said to Tanya, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, it's easily the best deal on the planet. I mean, it's the best $50 anybody would ever spend on a monthly basis for their business. Right. You cannot argue the tools and the information and the people and everything that's there.
Right.
The reality is it should be a lot more because it delivers a lot more. But it's that cost effective for people at a time where people need the tools, they need the expertise, they need the level of engagement in people that are there. So again, I would encourage anybody to, jump all over it, quite frankly.
Yeah, and we're talking to people that may be different parts of the world or know people in different parts of the world. In Asia, they're doing the upgrade. The website is going to be one click of the button. It translates it to, if you're in Japan, it's going to be Japanese, or in French. That's going on now. So this is a worldwide platform to help people communicate with their audience.
Yep,
absolutely.
Those are the things. I mean, the reality is, why people spend $50 a whole lot in a whole lot dumber ways. I mean, I'm just trying to say it as nice as I can say.
I once got a hamburger and a beer, and it was $50.
I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, to get all the business tools that you can get, and all it takes is meeting one person. Like I said, I've got 150. I met the founder of a $6.7 billion company that we've now become friends. That's probably worth $50 a month to account. That's the thing. Sometimes people think things have to be so linear. They don't have to be so linear. They just have to give you that kind of possibility. And I mean, I now have a guy whose exit from his company was $6.7 billion that I can pick up the phone and call anytime I want, and we just have lovely conversations.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we look at business opportunities together, or people say, hey, I'm looking for this. Well, let me call him and see if he'd be interested in hearing about it.
Exactly.
I mean, those are all things that happen through the platform.
Right.
So again, I think people try to get so linear. Well, I did this. What business did I get from it this second? Well, you're going to be tied to a
Right.
whole bunch of stuff if you do it that way.
I do want to share, they even allowed Robert Brooker to become a member. He says it's 6822 in Canada. That's what yeah.
6822 a month.
Yeah. So for all you Canadians, sorry about that. But
Yeah, no, I thought it'd be $50 down here and like $4,000 up there. But
we got to have a talk with Tanya and JR. So we got to get that rectified, right? They do take feedback from the field pretty seriously. So
absolutely, absolutely.
But
the exchange rate.
Yeah, I know you got a hard stop, Mark. You got some dancing to do. And before I forget, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I'm just going to bring this up here, just so we don't forget this before we get off.
Hey, there you go.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Celebrate. I know this is that time of year that a lot of people. I know come Thursday, I'm chilling out till the end of the year. But, that's what I always do with my wife. It's sort of our special time to celebrate the holidays.
Awesome.
But I just want to thank you, Scott, for being on here.
Thank you.
Thank
you for sharing.
My pleasure.
Sharing the platform. We're about helping businesses.
Absolutely.
There's Mark's scrolling across the bottom. Sign up for free. Get in and experiment with it.
I guess for Robert, it's still going to be 6822. So sorry, Robert. And
anybody wants to reach out to me, there's my link as well. But be free to connect. Have some fun with it. That's what I say. I have everything to lose here. So. Anything else, Scott, in using technology or in closing thought before we?
Well, technology is going to keep on moving and opportunities, but when you've got organizations who are looking to continue to enhance and make things better and better, faster, bigger, it'll be great. Just keep after it.
Yeah. Well, Scott, I wish you and your family a Merry Christmas.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt there will be a prosperous 2023 because that's a mindset. No matter what BeeKonnected or anything else, it's a mindset. Right. We already see the outcome before it manifests. So
it's going to be a fabulous year.
Yeah. So, Mark, anything else?
No, I just really appreciate everybody hopping on board and, making their comments. We had Mr. Jay Skinner on here and a couple other people that said hello, popped in and out. So that was nice.
Bob Donnell, we've had Troy jumped on tonight.
Troy came on here, yes. Yeah. And we appreciate you doing that because we understand, particularly this time of year. And I'm sure, Scott, you have better things to do than watch us rant and rave about this, but we do appreciate the fact that you took the time. And most important of all, I will say to our guests, thank you for allowing us to learn from you tonight, Scott, because I have been on the platform this past week, and there is just a plethora of stuff. My head was spinning after about 2 hours. I'm like, man, I got to take a step back. There's just a lot of things you can do with this thing. And it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep on playing with it. You'll have fun. You get time over the holidays now.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'll be doing.
All right. Well, Scott, we're going to put you in the back room and hold tight for a moment if you don't mind.
Thanks, all. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
There's somebody from the beginning. Thank you, Scott, for being here. Your business wisdom and experience. And so I'm grateful, going back to that we've had him on today to explain what we're doing and why we're connected, why they're one of our corporate sponsors. Right. So anything else in closing, Mark, before you go out two-step?
I just can't believe that 2022 is going to come to an end here soon, but I'm really excited about 2023. a lot of opportunities business wise, a lot of opportunities otherwise here with BeeKonnected and other things we're doing. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think things are going to turn out just fine. And, just deconnect from the TV and don't listen to those alleged supposed prognosticators,
Right.
whoever they may be.
Well, Mark, have a good evening tonight doing the two-step or whatever you're doing tonight.
Actually, I will tell you what we're doing. It is a country polka. So if your lovely wife was here, I'd have her go with us because she'd be in hog heaven. I mean,
you saw her dance. She's probably one of the best polka dancers I've seen. So
right,
not because she's my wife, but because she's pretty damn good.
Yeah. I just never see you dance with Kelly. I just don't see that happening. When are we going to get a video or a picture
of what, me dancing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll sing before I dance.
Oh, okay.
Okay, how about that?
Okay.
I'll tell you. We'll close with this. Kathy was going to teach me how to polka dance when I lived in Albuquerque at an Oktoberfest.
Oh, neat.
I had one too many beers.
Uh-oh.
And I stepped on her toe and ripped her toenail off, and that was the end of my dancing.
Oh my!
Like I said, I'm not going to hurt her anymore.
Okay.
So, too dangerous.
Poor Kathy.
It's a contact sport. We're not going to go there.
Oh,
but
man.
Anyway, Mark, I want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you.
I wish all those out there who hear this have a Merry Christmas, a prosperous New Year. All right, we're ready to roll out.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right.